Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. It is Magical Monday with your girl, Tanasha Smith, registered social worker, operating in Brampton, 134 Queen Street, Unit 406. And I am recently and currently altogether accepting new patients virtually and in person. And so today I wanted to acknowledge that it is Happy International Women's Day to you all who are on here. As you come on, I just want you to get prepared as I let you know what we're going to be talking about this evening. I want us to discuss relationships and in the aspects of why do women not heal after a horrible relationship, and I mean like a bad breakup or even a divorce. Why do we not heal? Why don't we seek healing? Why don't we seek guidance? And so I hope your day was magical today. I hope that you poured into yourself, you did all your self-work, you did your check-in, you made sure that all was well, you made sure that everything was running smoothly. Hello, how are you? I can't see who's on there unless you comment. Nice to meet you, whoever you are. Good evening. As we come in, taking time to come in and sit and have a discussion, just think about oh, hi, how are you? Just think about the blessings. Just think about the fact that since we're all facing COVID, and some of us are forced to see some hardship in our relationships, and some of us have separated. Many of us have tried to make it work. Some of us had broken up before entering into the COVID season. And so I just want to talk about the fact that women don't seek the healing that they need. We actually just carry on to another relationship broken. And I want to talk about that because we don't understand that when we don't do the healing and we move on to a second relationship, we're carrying the same pain. And then on top of that, that person that you've met is probably just as broken as you are, because we often seek what we are. We often are attracted to what we are going through. And so as you slowly come in, I welcome you all again. It's Mastery of Self, and it's Magical Monday. And I'm hoping that your Monday was blessed. I hope that today, Women International Day, was interesting. I had joined a platform and enjoyed watching a symposium on Women International Day, which was beautiful. And so as I come on to here today, because all the thoughts of what I had seen and heard online, it led me to discuss the topic of relationships, to discuss how we women, we will seek the help to heal ourselves, but for some reason when it comes to our intimate relationship with our partners, we don't look for the help after a broken heart. We don't look for the healing that is needed to move forward. We just move forward carrying the luggages, the pain from the past relationship. And so I said last week, I want to make sure that we are interacting with each other, and I want interactions on here. I want us to get involved in a conversation. Good evening, blessing, Apostle Johnny, welcome. I welcome you. I just want us to get deep into conversation as adults, that it's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to not be okay. Good night, my dear. Good night, Kadeen. Hello, Tanisha Sean. Welcome. God bless you. And so it's okay to not be okay when you have been experienced a broken heart. And so when we travel in this life that we've been given and we don't do the healing, we walk around with band-aids covering wounds that have not been healed. And what that does is just It's just an addition to what you have to face moving forward. It could be a loss of a job, income of any sort, walking into a new opportunity. It hinders us to be our best selves when we have not done the healing. And so when you've gone through a divorce, not only you have gone through the divorce, if you have children, they also suffer. When you have been with someone who's been very abusive towards you, physically, emotionally, you are carrying that hurt along with you, especially if you have children. The children are carrying the hurt. And so even if you live in common law and if you dated for 2 years, 3 years, and that person has done like physical, emotional damage to you or to each other, you are still carrying that. And so to release that, what kind of work are you doing to release that? What kind of healing have you done? And oftentimes it's absolutely nothing. And so tonight I wanted to discuss that, because we often think that the sooner one person exits out of our life and comes into our lives, we are good. But I need you to understand the flesh is always going to be good. You see, we have our bodies, that we have the flesh and we have the spirit. And so the spirit is usually strong, be able to discern, and we don't listen to the spirit as often. But when it comes to our flesh, you see, in the moment, everything feels amazing. You know, for example, sex is always great for some of us, and we use that as our healing, but all we're doing is damaging our body. We're damaging our minds, we're damaging our hearts, because we have not first accept the fact that we are in pain, and two, we're not seeking the understanding and the clarity that we need to move forward. Amen. The hardest thing is to listen and shut up and want to fix her. Okay, it is hard. And so being a male, oftentimes I've been told that we women talk too much, but sometimes listening to the story can just be the most soothing thing, to be a listening ear. When we're living with someone for so many years and you come home, you can be living with someone and married to someone and still feel single. Anyone can agree? Say amen to that. You could be living with someone, married to someone, and still feel single, because the connection is gone. There's no more work towards self. No, you each are not working on each other. You're not working on yourselves, and you're not working with each other. And so that brings separation, right? And so you're not supposed to fix her, Mr. Mitchell. You're supposed to fix yourself. And oftentimes when we're in relationships, we can see the other person's wrong. We cannot see our own wrongs. And so we're already ready to attack the situation because we can see what their problems is. We know what's going on. So we get so fixated trying to fix them, and we're not fixing ourselves. In order for us to come together and as an amazing unit, you have to be willing to do the individual work first. Okay, I'll say that again. In order for our unit, our marriages, our relationships, the beginning of anything, you have to be willing to work on yourself first. When you work on yourself first, you're able to see your wrongs. Now, depending on which walk of life you're coming from, even if you've been married for a long time and you have been through some childhood trauma and you have never spoken about it, I promise you it comes up in your life. It comes up in your relationships. It comes up in your work life. It comes up in your social life amongst your friends. Because one thing for sure, when you've experienced hurt and pain, trust is the number one thing that we find very difficult to even do again. So trust is something that we look for, and security, and also for men, respect. So once you have those three things are very important, a whole can of worms. Yes, Mr. Mitchell. And so it is very important to understand what you are seeking from the relationship, right? You need to know what your love language is. For example, my love language, I love to do for others. That's how I show my love. I'm not one to say I love you and hugs and kisses. I'm not that kind of girl. I love to spend time with you, have conversations with you, watch a movie, talk about topics that are going on the news, or maybe even topics to edify myself, to make sure that I'm up on a different level. I don't want to always be the same, right? And so I do things to show my love. And then you have others who love to touch, and they love to express their love to each other. And that is just a different love language. Everyone has their own love language. But you see, you cannot accept your love language if you don't even know who you are. Okay? You can't accept your love language if you don't even know who you are. If you have not healed from your past pain, your past relationship, your childhood trauma, anything that has caused you to feel pain, if you have not healed, you're walking with that pain for as long as you can. And I mean, there's people who have been walking with pain consistently because they don't know how to seek help. And so within not just our generation, but our culture as a people, we would rather hold on to victimhood. Okay, she's like me. We would rather hold on to victimhood instead of peace, beauty, love, unity. For some reason, that is where we tend to hold on to. We don't even want to accept the greatness that life has to offer us. Okay? And so tonight, I ask you, with all that you have gone through in your marriages, in your relationship, what have you discovered with yourself that you need to root out, that you need to change, that you think you need help with to understand? Because the more you understand yourself, the relationship that you're in now just becomes clear to you. You become at peace. You can't become at peace when you think you're fixing the other person. That will drive you to death. And I'm going to tell you that right now. The more you think you need to fix the other individual, the closer to you're going to just be miserable for the rest of your life. And so it is a beautiful thing to share the journey with someone else. It is an amazing thing that you can live and love with someone on the journey of life. So some people believe that if I get married, I'm going to be happy. If I have a baby, I'm going to be happy. Need to fix yourself. Amen. And so we believe that when we have these things and when we accomplish these things, we become happy, and that is not true. The things of life that life has to offer cannot make us happy. The only person that can make you happy is yourself. So you need to fix yourself, which is what Mr. Apostle Johnny said. It's true. We need to fix ourselves. We have to be willing to do the self-work. And so in my practice as a social worker, when my clients come in, the driving force behind my practice, my social work practice, my therapy, is self-care. Many of us don't know how to take care of ourselves. And I was there too. I did not know how to take care of me. I did not know how to do it. And so I had to teach myself. I had to learn about who I am. I had to understand what I like from what I dislike. So my husband could never make me happy. I have to make myself happy. But on the journey, he makes it enjoying. He makes it peaceful, right? He brings in the laughter. He brings in the fun. But he can't make me happy. I have to make myself happy. Amen. And so my question to you tonight, have you healed from your past relationships with self, with parents, with siblings, with your partners? Have you found that healing from past pain? Some of us have gone through some episodes in our lives that we are holding on to, and the other person cannot remember it to save their life. And so have you done the healing? Anybody want to answer the question? Have you done the healing with your relationships that surrounds you? No interaction tonight. Is everybody shy? Do I have shy people on here? Anyway, I provide therapy, and my sessions are an hour long. And within that session, I'm guiding my client to see themselves in the mirror. And how that is done is just simply asking questions as to how their day is. And so when they tell me things that trigger them at work or even at home, I ask them where that comes from. And usually the pain is rooted from the past. And so I encourage you all online tonight, do the self-work that is needed. You have to do the self-work that is needed to be fully you, 100% you. You got to do the self-work on you. And the reason why that matters is because nobody can fix you. Nobody can fix you. You have to be able to fix yourself. And so when you come to realize and accept all that has been done to you, and realize that only you can give yourself that happiness, then you start to find peace. Amen. And so that is all I wanted to share with you tonight, was to discuss the importance of healing from all relationships so that you can move on in your life. And when you don't do the healing, what you're doing is wearing band-aids to cover up the unhealed wound that is continuously leaking in your life. You know, when you put on a band-aid on a wound that has been really cut, the blood and everything, and it slowly starts to heal, and you put the band-aid on and you cover it up because you don't want it to get infected. Well, these wounds that you're covering up actually have never healed. They're invisible because you can't see them, but they're so deep, they're scarring to your spirit. And so I'm here to guide you to understand that it's important that you do the healing. This kinder man for us men. Pardon? This is kind for us. Yeah. Oh, is this something for us men? Is that what you're asking, Mitchell? Yes. So true. So true, Apostle Johnny. Sometimes we hide behind the pain and we think it's our partner. My gosh, that is so true. We are afraid to share our truth. And so instead of us sharing what is really going on, we hide it. And that comes from past pain. That comes from something that we don't want to deal with. So we blame it on the partner and we cover up our shame, or we cover up that secret, that pain that is attacking us. And so instead of saying, you know what, sweetheart, I'm ashamed that I'm not able to share with you something that I've been through, or I don't like the way I'm behaving. I don't like where I'm at in my life. I don't like my job. I don't like the house. I don't like the area we live in. And so instead of us sharing, especially men, they don't like to share anything. And I'm not saying all, but some of the men do not like to share anything. They keep everything in. And that is what is so difficult sometimes in relationships, because communication is key. Yes, we're so used to that we tough it out. We tough it out. It's true. But men, I encourage you, during this COVID season, I know that we're all forced to see the ugliness in ourselves. And I don't say that lightly. We are forced to see the ugliness within ourselves. It's the ugliness that we don't want to see. We don't want to talk about. We don't want to reveal because it's scary. And so fear is also the number one factor as to why we don't go for healing, why we don't seek the help that we need, because we fear that we're not supposed to share our business. We fear the fact that it's not something normal. It's new. We fear something new. We don't know what the results are going to be. So we don't go and seek the help that we need. And so I often have men that reach out to me that want counseling, but then they disappear because the fear. And so when you get closer to who you are, what you want to discover about yourself and do the complete healing, you need to understand there's a peace that just comes over you. Oh, my internet disconnected. You guys all there? As man, at times we think we're Superman, yes, and we don't know how to express ourselves. It's so true. It is so true. Men, I find that a lot of male clients tend to keep things in because we don't want to show that we too need help. You too need help, right? And so because of that, we stay away from having the conversations to get to a place of peace. I lost a lot of people. I don't know. if you guys realize, but my internet or Facebook just chipped in and chipped back in, chipped out and chipped back in. But as we continue to discuss this, even though it's Women International Day, it does not exclude our beautiful men. It does not exclude you. Why? Because you're part of the process. And as we journey in this life, it's good. It's really good for us to understand that everyone everyone walks into their healing differently. And we can't force people to go and seek help. We need to understand that. You cannot force people to seek help. I say this again. You cannot force people to seek help. Love them through it. Love them through it. Yes. I don't know. The internet either came in or Facebook chipped back in. But yes, thanks for coming back. But as I said, we cannot force others to seek the help they need. You have to leave them to figure that out for themselves. The more you force someone to seek the help that they need, it becomes a struggle. It becomes an argument. It becomes messy, right? And so we want to make sure that we love them through it. I show them that, they're not the same anymore. You used to do this. You're not doing this anymore. Is there a reason? Try to get a conversation going for them to start to hear themselves speak. The new book should be geared up to help us men. Yes, I will try that. My new book is to help men. But my book now can help men too. It's not just for women. It can also help men. It's bittersweet, in my journey in my book through my healing. What I had to also understand is who I was. Out of everything that I've written in that book of Once Broken, the main thing that I take away from my life is not knowing who I am, who I was, right? And so when we don't know who we are, when we don't know our strength, we don't know our power, we don't know our full identity, where we come from, that is a problem. That is a problem because we all want to fit in, not realizing that we don't need to fit in. We need to be unique, right? Yes, looking forward to the next book. No pressure at all. Yes, I have not thought of the new book, the new book as yet, because my book now is still new for me. I've gotten many positive reviews. The reviews that I have gotten so far has been so overwhelming. I have people who text me. If they don't text me, they send emails to me telling me how the book has blessed them. I think I'm back. The internet keeps going and coming. But it's a simple read, and I did it to encourage people to never give up on their life. Never give up on you. Never, ever give up on you. When I was in a place of darkness, and I mean a deep place of darkness that I wanted to end my life, when I think back now, it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense, right? And so because of all the healing that I never did in regards to my sexual abuse, my parental abuse, the rejection, little incidents within my life, I just felt like I don't deserve to be here. I don't need to be here at all. I have my husband, I have my children, I have my job, I have my house, all the things that people think that they need to have to be happy. And that is why it's so hard for people to understand depression. People don't want to even call it depression. I'll say sadness, deep overwhelmed feeling in darkness, because nobody wants to say that they are depressed. Nobody wants to identify themselves as sad in any kind of way, because we're to be strong and we're to have resilience, as if we ain't got no weaknesses in us. We're supposed to fight the good fight. But it is okay to give up. It is okay to give up and ask for help. Not to give up and end your life. It's okay to give up the fight and ask for help. We need assistance. That's why they have people like me who've gone to school to help guide you. And so that is why I'm very transparent when I'm doing my practice. I want people to know that I too am human, because when I was a little girl and I needed help, the social workers, they seemed like they were plastic. They seemed like they never experienced life. They seemed like their life was just so amazing. Nothing hinders them or troubles them. And so because I couldn't see the reflection of myself in the help that I was seeking, I didn't bother to seek the help. But I encourage you, seek the help that you need. Go deeper with who you need to find. As I mentioned last week, be willing to find the diamond that's inside of you, which means be willing to find the beauty in your brokenness. And that is actually a quote from my book. Find the beauty in your brokenness. And some of us don't want to even call it broken, because we think we're all wholesome because we have our Louis Vuitton, we have our car, we have our house, so we good. Until you realize those things don't bring happiness. And so I'm always going to be on here to inspire you all to be your best self, to continue to do the self-work that is needed to get to the place of peace and wholesomeness, so that you can love yourself and be happy with who you see in the mirror, and to be happy to just be rooted in what you call your identity of self-gain, self-worth, self-love, and self-power, self-everything. And loving self is not being selfish. It means you're putting yourself first. You're making sure that your well-being, your mental capacity is good. And that is all, my friends. I thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope to see you next week, Monday. And may your week be blessed. Continue to change your day around, because you can always control you. You can't control anybody else. Stay blessed, stay hopeful, and love on self, because self leads to self-mastery. Good night.